Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game rules by Chaos. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try very hard to stick to language for all ages, listeners should know that this podcast may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., that may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I'm your keeper, Keeper Michael, and we have returned to Masks of Nyarlathotep in the England chapter, and things are getting real interesting. So let's get cast introductions out of the way, and then we have something to resolve with one of our investigators. So, to my right.
It's Lonnie. I'm playing Lawrence Edward Oliver Forsyth, and I have a rifle.
Indeed you do. To his right.
This is Morgan. I play Lillian Lane, and hopefully we're still not going to all die.
Yeah, I mean, jury's still out. At the end of the table.
This is Jake. I'm playing Jack Doyle. And if I recall correctly, we've already solved this all, so we don't have to worry about it, right?
Right. Yeah, no, I'm sure everything will be fine, right?
Yeah, right.
To Jack's right.
This is James. I'll be playing Dr. Sigmund Tartenbach. And, resolution here, I hope, goes in our favor. Yeah, please.
To the doctor's right.
This is Tiffany, and I play Maeve O'Shea, and, stuff and things are happening.
Indeed they are. And last but most certainly not least, our man in the boat.
This is Alex. I'll be playing Simon Granger, and this is probably the first and hopefully not the last time I'll have to say a little prayer for all of us.
There's almost a song there waiting, but we'll take a pass on that for the moment. So when last we left the scene in the Naze, Jack was about to accost a gentleman here who was just trying to give him directions back to where he came from. But Jack has other plans for him. So you were leaping at him when last we saw you on camera, Jack. So my question to you is, what is your aim?
My aim is to before I decide that, is this guy like in the dead center of the bridge, or is he off to one side?
He's roughly centered, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna try to knock him out. I briefly thought about trying to knock him off the bridge, but now I'm going to just knock him.
So, because he is surprised, I am going to say that you don't need to roll to attack.
Okay.
Yep. If you would like to simply roll your unarmed damage plus any bonus or damage bonus you have, go right ahead.
3.
Okay. Yeah. Use his momentary distraction when he turns and moves the light, which is wonderful because it finally gets it, out of your eyes for a little bit. I assume you're aiming for the head.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to try to aim right behind the right ear.
Oh, you land several of your knuckles directly behind his ear, and there's a audible pop, smack of flesh. And he tumbles onto the bridge face forward. So, Lawrence, you have a rifle per se. Are you going to elect to do anything before we get closer towards rounds, or are you just going to let the situation unfold?
Well, when I see Jack make his move, I've been aiming at the far person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to shoot him.
Okay. So that is a rifle roll, which you get a bonus die for.
We have a success. I'll take the success. 47 under 55.
Absolutely. Okay. And what kind of rifle is that?
That is a 303 Lee Enfield.
All right. So feel free to roll damage.
All right. That is 10 points, sir.
Okay. So your hand, which probably would have been a little clammy given the temperature and given the stress of the moment, seems cool and clean as you continue to line up the shot. When the light flashes, when it turns and face, and you see Jack raise his arm back and deliver his punch to the back of the neck, you hold your breath and then exhale, pulling the trigger on the Enfield, and a crack goes out over the bridge, and it's returned by the sound of a body falling into the water off the bridge. Jack, someone shoots in your general direction.
That sounds like a rifle, right?
Yeah, you see the other guard drop.
Good. I was hoping that's what they were going to do. Thank God. All right.
Okay.
Is this guy down that I'm on top of? Over.
He is not unconscious yet.
Okay.
So what is your dexterity?
Is 60.
I suppose I will ask before you two get to resolve that. Miss Lane or Miss O'Shea, are the two of you doing anything? You both have the highest dexterities here.
I was gonna start running up the bridge towards Jack with
Okay.
my knife out.
Sure.
Because I'm gonna cut his throat. I mean,
You cut Jack's throat? Wow.
no.
Had enough of Jack's
It was
shit.
bound to happen.
That's true. Yeah. Way more than you know. Okay, yeah. You begin hustling across the bridge. Your movement rate's fairly high, so if you'd like to get to Jack, that's possible with your movement action.
Okay.
And then Miss Lane?
Yeah, I follow behind Maeve, but is there anybody... I have my rifle with me. Is there anybody that's a bad guy that I can... that's in within a decent shooting range to me that I won't hit somebody else?
So we'll couch the whole good versus bad discussion for a moment, but no, you don't see any other estate guards, as I'll say.
Was there only I thought there were two guys, right?
There were two. Yes, Jack punched one, Lawrence shot and likely killed the other.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so I'm not gonna go up on the bridge yet. I'll stay behind just in case somebody comes up behind us.
Okay. So, Jack, you have a higher dex than this gentleman does, so what are you doing?
I'm going to pull out my gun and basically hold it on him and go, don't even move.
Miss O'Shea, you arrive. You see Jack standing over this guy who's seems to be has folded his hands over his head. That rifle shot was pretty loud, Jack.
Yeah, I know. Just one. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Check the other one.
Oh, the other one I heard fall in the water.
Right.
Yeah.
Doctor?
I come up behind Jack, and I assume that the guard is on the ground.
Yeah, he's on the ground, belly first.
Open my doctor's
He's got a
bag,
pistol.
crouch down next to him, take the pistol from him, put the pistol in my doctor bag, and pull out the ubiquitous syringe and sleepy time.
Okay. You inject him?
Yep, he's getting a big old dose of sleepy time.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking over Jack's shoulder to see what's going on ahead of us.
Yeah, there's no roll required for it, Doctor. It's pretty simple to administrate
Okay.
something like that for you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It appears that you have control of the bridge.
Sweet.
Jack. Does this guy on the ground, how, in comparison to Jack, like how big or small, is he bigger or smaller than Jack? Or roughly the same size?
Oh, he's probably about the same size.
Hey, Jack, I think perhaps you should adapt a new suit of clothing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Between Jack and I, we quickly strip the guard down.
Check the gatehouse. See if there's a phone or anything in there.
Gesture to Lawrence.
Lawrence, are you checking the gatehouse?
Yes.
Okay. So moving around the, this kerfuffle there to your left, the gatehouse has some fairly simple controls. There's a lever to basically move the bridge into open or closed position, and then there's a couple of controls for basically not how fast or how slow, but just other levers to raise a portion of it. It looks like it still swings around the center column here, but you do see a telephone.
I quickly go about moving the bridge into the we're cut off from everyone position.
Okay. So yeah, what are you doing with the now dozing guard?
We'll tie him up after we strip him.
Okay.
And gag him.
I really wish we didn't have to shoot that other one.
Well, this is a war, Jack. And sometimes, as you well know, sacrifices must be made.
Sure. Oh yeah, speaking of that, Miss Lane, Miss O'Shea, you don't see that guy in the water. You're not really sure what happened to him.
So we don't see him anywhere else either?
No. Oh, there he is. Yep. Doesn't look like he's gonna make it.
So I'm assuming past this bridge, is that where that stone, like, is that where a stone wall begins? Like what Simone was telling us about?
From the map that you saw that the doctor created, that would stand to reason. Yeah, it'd be down this road here, and then it would go left, and then as you went left, you would eventually encounter this stone wall.
Okay. I just want to know how far before I have to be prepared for the big ugly.
So Simone, you're rowing and rowing and rowing, but you've made a lot of progress. And so your plan was to go back to the boat launch?
So my plan was to make my way around to where I believe the tree line is.
Okay.
So I had departed hours before the others to try to make time.
Yep.
But yeah, my plan was to basically go as far around as I had to until I could spot the grove from the other side of the wall.
Okay. So to do that, and you've had time, so it won't be impossible for you to get out there, you'd have had to continue your path north rather than taking this tributary down.
Yeah.
And you'd eventually come out in some of the sandy bar area up here. And you're fairly good as far as the way you can geoposition off of this, only because all of this is sand. And the rowboat, it will actually go through some of this.
Okay.
And so you are able to cut a path through here, and then you start seeing wall. Like, it looks like this portion of Gavigan's estate might have at one point been a great idea for a more ocean-facing pier.
Sure.
But it's possible that he decided against it because the one that's more inland is a lot more covert.
Yeah, this is pretty exposed.
It is. It gives you a little bit of more flavor as far as his brain work.
Sure, and even if there was one here, I don't imagine he would want to use it because it's so close. Unless he was, like, I don't know, getting shipments or having things delivered or what have you.
Yep. But you have to shore the boat, basically.
Sure.
And then after hopping off there, you find yourself back near the wall, back near the estate.
This is a different section of the wall, though, obviously.
Totally different.
Can I see the trees from over the wall? How large are they? Like, are they big trees?
Yeah, they're pretty big, actually.
Okay. Is it still, like, evening? I'll take my watch out and see if I can... What time is it?
For you, given the extra travel, even though you left early, you guys are probably around about the same time. So It's about a little after 10, 11 o'clock.
All right. On the way here, I've probably spent quite a bit of time kind of mentally preparing myself for what I know has to happen. And I'm not necessarily certain what we are going to have to do or how many we are going to have to do that to. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time preparing myself for what's to come. So after I shore the boat, I will pick a spot near the wall where I can kind of hunker down a bit. And I will take some things out of my bag. I'll take out I take my makeup kit and my machete and a few odds and ends. And I'm going to take some of the gauze that I have and douse it in some of the rum that I've infused with the rest of the hot peppers that I've gotten from the drought that we made.
Oh boy.
And I'm going to drive them up my nose. Swearing viciously and gutturally as possible. I'm going to take a deep breath, and I will very solemnly begin beseeching Maman Brigitte to distract her consort with her foul mouth and ample bosom long enough that I pray that he not dig the graves for my companions. Dig no graves bearing their names, at least long enough for us to get out of here alive. As I do so, I will flay a single line of basically skin from my shin. I'll pull my leg up, I'll pull my pant leg up, and I will cut a single line around my calf, kind of in line with the others that are already there. This would probably be like the 8th or 9th. And using my makeup, I will don the makeup of Baron Samedi, and I will hope that Maman Brigitte finds my display pleasing enough to humor my petty attempt at imploring her favor.
Interesting.
So I skull my face, and I breathe deeply the rum and pepper, and I wait for the sign as I make my way up the wall and perch.
Okay.
Hopefully using the trees as cover.
Right, so why don't you give me at least a climb roll?
Sure.
For the ascent.
Do I get any advantages for having my climbing stuff ready? My boots and such?
Yeah, you can have advantage on the roll, that's fine.
Thankfully. It's a hard success, 20 out of 50.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, scaling the wall is something that happens with ease. It's not even difficult, really. There's ample handholds in this kind of English stacked stone wall. Getting to the top of it gives you a pretty dramatic look at the back of the estate. And it also fills you with a certain amount of understandable dread. And that is that this grove of trees that's behind the house is far thicker than you were expecting. It doesn't even fit the landscape, really. The landscape here should be arable farmland where it is, maybe some grass, some hard scrabble ground near with all the salt and the sand nearby. This is something totally different. This is thick wood, wide trees, ample boughs. Someone grew this.
I will continue kind of breathing deeply through my nose, and I will let the tears basically clear my vision and see if I can spy any movement or hear anything moving.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a hard spot hidden roll.
That is 32 out of 58. It's not hard.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, given the light available to you, because there are small breaks in some of the trees here, it looks like there is at least maybe a light on at the back of the estate. Even given all that, you don't really see the form, the misshapen, disgusting form of whatever it was that you encountered last time near the pier.
Well, yeah. I left the fear of that thing in the boat. I'm prepared to die. I wait.
Okay. So at the bridge, after you take hold of his clothing and become one of the guardsmen, it's actually a little strange getup. You feel a little silly, Jack. They're black robes with like this golden sash, and then the black robes at the center On the left and the right-hand side opening of the robes, there's a inverted white ankh.
Oh, okay. These are like cultist robe.
Yeah.
No, I was under the impression that they were wearing like a guard uniform.
No, sir.
Oh, well, this changes everything. I was very guilty about maybe killing a couple of locals hired to guard the state.
Come now, Jack. You don't feel guilt. We know that.
If these had just been two poor schmoes from Walden on the Naze who was out here making some extra dollars, working for, I would have felt a little guilty about
Working for the man.
Working for the man. But now I don't. Okay. So get that put on. We want to scan real quick. Anybody have any keys, maybe to a gate or something here?
There are operating keys for the gate itself, the gate controller. And then both guards have a rather ostentatious looking, kind of oversized skeleton key.
Oh, nice. Let's take both of them.
Yep.
You never know. And then I'll rip the phone out of the wall, and we need to move. We need to get to the grounds before Simone decides to move, because if he heard that shot, he may decide to move, and I don't want that screwing up the plan.
We don't want him going in alone.
Totally not his fault, of course.
Right.
So, I would ask this: given that there's the cover of night, and that you're all moving, I assume, roughly together.
Yeah.
Is the group attempting to be relatively quiet?
I am.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So, because I'm a pain in the neck, which one of you has the lowest stealth roll?
Oh.
20.
Probably
27.
me. Hold on.
You got a 20 if you didn't put anything in it.
Oh, yeah, I have a 20.
I have
Alright.
a 20.
So 3 of you have 20s. Wonderful. Let's see here. We'll let the dice decide. So, Miss O'Shea, why don't you roll stealth for me? And we'll see how you do. How the group does.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you bet.
Sucks.
Lowest common denominator. That's how these things go.
There, that's how it goes.
You're only as quiet as the loudest member.
That's true. So you get there before one of you, Miss O'Shea, you go down kind of in a heap when you don't see a stone in the middle of the road. You kind of end up in the ditch beside the road. You fall over.
Amble over and help her up.
Ambling now.
I have to be more quiet since that Liebchen.
At the far edge of your vision, down towards the house, you see a couple of lights come on. They look like they're torches, scanning the area.
I'm going to try to hide in some shrubbery as they're scanning about. Does it look like they're coming this way?
It does look like they're coming this way, yes.
If there's
fan out to each side of the road.
Yep, you start seeing and hearing people coming your way.
How many torches do we see?
3.
Do we see any people without torches?
Are you staying in the road long enough to make that sight?
I'm going to the side of the road and I'm laying down in the ditch,
Okay,
peeking just over the top.
Yeah,
sure. Roll stealth.
shooter's position.
Sure. Nope. 64 and over 27.
You get traced with a torchlight. You hear, "You there, stand up!"
I immediately start running at a 90-degree angle to the rest of the party.
Okay, well, let's not get too complex. So,
Well, I want them to chase me, look at me, rather than
Sure.
look at them.
sure. So, are you going to run back down the road you came in?
I'm going to disappear into the off to the side, into the tangle on the sides.
Okay. Yeah, you leap into action and you begin running in a different direction. Let's see here. They 2 of them are going to pull their pistols and shoot at you.
Okay.
Because, well, you're a trespasser, clearly.
I mean, it's too dark for anything to be clearly, though. They just think I'm a trespasser.
That's right. Oh, there's a penalty die on that because you're a fast-moving target. Okay. Yeah, a couple shots go in your direction, Lawrence, and you're basically diving into the really, really tall brush here to try to get some cover. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to fan out in the opposite direction to hopefully come up behind the one of them in the back.
Okay. You slink off. We'll hold you there. Jack, what about you?
Seeing as I'm dressed as a guard, I'm going to approach the group of cultists, quickly and look like I'm like, there, he's over there.
Okay. And what's your what's the purpose of the attempt? Is to direct them?
Yeah. But most of the purpose is for me to infiltrate their group, or for them to think that I'm with them.
Okay.
But I'm going to kind of point over in the direction that kind of in the direction that Lawrence went, so that I'm not obviously misdirecting them.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a luck roll, Jack?
87 under 92.
Okay. You step over towards them and you begin pointing in Lawrence's general direction. And you're like, hey, he's over there, he's over there. And for a half second, they pause and they look and see what you're dressed in. And then they turn. 3 of them turn to that direction and begin moving that way.
Okay. 3 of them?
Yep.
Is there just the 3 of them, or are there more?
Oh, there's 2 more now. So there's 2 more that one with a torch and one without that have hung back.
Okay. Is anything okay? And then I'm going to shoot those 2.
Okay. So just point blank, you're going to shoot them?
Yeah.
Okay. So you pulled the gun, and firearms roll. It's at point blank range. So go ahead and give me a firearms roll with a bonus die.
I'm gonna do with the bonus die. That okay?
Yeah, because it's point blank.
And I'm gonna do the 3 shots.
Okay. Take that into account when.
All right. 48 under 84. 16 under 84.
Oh.
1.
Okay. You pull the gun out, and within 3 quick trigger pulls, there are 2 dead men in front of you. There's no need to roll damage. It's inconsequential. Because there's a light on this scene, and there's so much pistol smoke, Miss O'Shea and Miss Lane, I want you to make me a sanity roll. Because you're literally watching Jack murder people.
I got a 60 out of 40.
22 out of 42.
Miss O'Shea's like, yep, murder happens.
That was the plan, wasn't it?
She knew the plan.
Murder has started. Excellent.
Okay, Miss Lane, you're gonna lose 2 points of sanity from that. It's really tough for you to see Jack just brutally misdirect 3 guys and then shoot and kill 2 other people. And the pistol shots are perfect. It's, the guy in the right gets it center mass, the guy in the left gets it center, and then Jack's wrist seems to move up, and the second bullet goes through the throat, and the man dies immediately. But it's a bloody mess.
Yeah, from where I'm sitting, my mouth is slightly open, like jaw drop.
So then can I move then towards the ones that are chasing Lawrence?
Yeah, absolutely.
Come up behind them?
Yep, because they're definitely going after Mr. Forsyth.
Lillian is broken by the thought that somebody actually shot somebody that wasn't in their party.
Damn.
No, she's apologized. We've put that shit in the past.
Yes.
You weren't supposed to tell anybody.
Okay, so Miss O'Shea, you're gonna basically lurk across the road here against these gentlemen who are trying to find Mr. Forsyth. Okay, yeah. What's your plan?
Well, since I've had my knife out since the bridge, I want to sneak up to the guy in the back and stab him in the side of the neck and then move up if I can.
Okay. Yeah, that's fighting brawl.
2 out of 42.
Okay. So, it's an
We're
impale.
good at murder.
Woo, murder!
So the knife doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know the special knife, so.
So you reach back and you stab into his back, his abdomen, and you feel this additional surge go through your hand and up your shoulder. And there's almost this vacuuming sound as blood pours out from the gash you make and is emulsified against the side of this weapon. It clings to it as if the blade is desperate for it. And he dies immediately in a flop of horrific pain. There are 2 other gentlemen.
Go on.
Well, they're going to get an opportunity to act.
I'm just gonna keep on going.
Right? You don't just get to immediately stab every motherfucker in the room.
Hey, maybe they didn't hear him. They're too busy chasing Lawrence.
Well, you've attacked one of their brethren now. And so they will, at the very least, even in the darkness, get an opportunity to notice if you are there. And if memory serves correctly, you don't hide very well.
I am in all black, though.
You are. So one of them, the one with the torch, is continuing to search the brush there for Lawrence. And you can see he's got his pistol up and he's searching very carefully when he squeezes off a shot into the brush where he thinks Lawrence is. The other one turns when he hears this horror croak out of his fellow cultist's mouth, and he sees you, black-robedness, with your bloody knife, and he screams.
Like in fear?
Yeah.
Nice. And I will rush him.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a brawl roll.
Nope, that one I failed.
Okay, you swing. Lawrence, from your position in the brush, I'd like you to give me a spot hit roll.
Extreme success, 9 under 61.
All right, very good, sir. So you are kind of rolling into a position so you can keep an eye on where these gentlemen are going, and you see this first cultist get assassinated. It's a disgusting and horrifying act, but one that, is seemingly a needful thing at the moment. But it's the second one. When O'Shea descends on the second one and swipes it at him with this bloodied knife, you can see a trail of blood that's coursing from the previous victim back into the weapon. Like it's traveling along the same arc.
Do I roll sanity for that?
You damn right you do.
Whoops.
Nope, that's failure. 65 over 30.
All right. Mr. Forsyth, I would like you to make me an intelligence roll.
Ooh, boy.
Oopsie.
Oh, that's, how do you beat a 0? Okay, anyways. I made it 47 under 55.
Of course you do. So, lose 5 sanity.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I just...
shit.
I've had an episode.
Yes. You are about to have an episode. A new and wondrous episode. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a d10? We'll let you decide your fate.
That is a 2, sir.
Yes. It is a 2. You physically lock up. Your shoulders and arms begin to shake, and you no longer have control over your limbs. You feel your body surge with an uncontrollable electrical energy, and it cripples your muscles. And you continue to shake, and will do so for the next 7 rounds. You probably foam at the mouth a bit, and the only thing that you have to comfort you in this racking and shaking state is the image of Miss O'Shea's face and her eyes having gone a sweet golden color as she's ramming the knife into the next eager victim.
It's not comforting.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it wasn't supposed to be. Miss Lane, what, in all this madness now here, what is Miss Lane doing?
Can I see what's going on with Forsyth and the cultists and Miss O'Shea?
You know, it's off in the side, like in the brush. There isn't a light in that area now that's pointed at it, so you don't see exactly what's going on. You can see that there's some sort of struggle. And just the big thing to keep in mind through all of this is that it's all happening at night, so it's very difficult to make out definitive things that are happening.
And how many of those cultists were taken down? I know one for sure.
One for sure, and
The other one screamed.
yeah, there's another one that's screaming.
Is there any more torchlights coming from the house?
Not as of yet. There is a torchlight that is still seeming to... What was that, Jake?
Well, sorry, there is another one looking for Foresight.
Yeah, there is. That's what I was going to mention. There is one searching for his position, and he seems to have honed in on Lawrence's body. You can see that the light stops moving back and forth.
But I can't see him, right?
You can't see Lawrence, but
I can't see that cultist, though, right? I can just see the light.
you can see the light, yeah.
Can I get closer to them?
Like physically closer? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Close enough to where I can see him and shoot him.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, he's got to be holding that torch, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I see her ready her weapon, am I close enough to actually see her, like, pull out a gun?
She's probably acting pretty fast, Doctor, but yeah, I would imagine you're fairly close.
Yeah, to be fair, though, Jack already shot 3 shots.
Yeah,
That's
they've
true.
already heard us.
Just pop
so.
off 3. Okay, yeah, it's one more gunshot's not going to do it.
Right, I'm going to get as close as possible, hopefully without him seeing me, but the fact that I can want to get in within visual range of him so I can shoot him with my rifle.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be too difficult at this point. His attention is solely focused on his new target, which is the aforementioned shaking Lawrence.
Sure.
So yeah,
I can roll my rifle then.
you can.
Sweet.
All right, roll damage.
I got a 5.
Okay, you fire. Simone, you do not need a listen roll for that sound. The shooting out front has begun.
Okay. I will kind of pinch the bridge of my nose, blow out both pieces of gauze, and I will slide down the wall.
So, Miss Lane, you fire the shotgun into his back, and he stumbles forward, and he is going to turn and try to locate you, and he'll shoot back. And, miss wildly, given the fact that it's dark. A gun battle has started, Jack.
Oh, goody. Well, yeah, that's going to happen eventually.
Indeed. What are you going to do then?
All right, there's 2 guys still standing.
Yes, at the moment. One is dealing with whatever the hell this thing is in front of him, that being Miss O'Shea. And the other one is trying to figure out who the hell just shot him.
All right, well, I'm going to shoot him. Because I do not want to shoot into a melee, because we've seen what happens when you do that.
Yeah, I like my back.
I'm going to fire off a few rounds. Hard success on the first one. Success and hard success.
One would have probably done it, but, what the hell?
Well, I'd like to make sure.
You do like reloading.
Yeah, that's max damage on the first one.
He drops. Miss O'Shea, this gentleman who you tried to stab is going to attempt to strike you with the butt end of his pistol in a defensive move. Sorry, you can roll dodge or you can roll fighting brawl to fight back.
Oh, fight back. 15 out of 40.
Yeah, you beat his brawl roll. So he comes at you with the butt end of a pistol, and you parry with the knife, but you don't parry the pistol, you parry his wrist.
Right.
Roll
Cut it
damage.
open. What is the damage?
It's dagger damage, so it's D4 plus damage bonus.
4.
So you cut into his wrist, and you see just the minutest line of blood appear at his wrist, and the blade almost seems to sink into further until it hits bone, and he drops his gun and begins screaming in pain. So, Doctor, having witnessed all of these things around you happening.
Wow. This is, the doctor is thinking to himself that we're dealing with it fairly well, but he's witnessing a side of the group that he had not suspected was this razor sharp. So he's going to grab one of the robes off of one of the guards that Jack shot.
Yeah.
Hopefully one that's roughly his size. Do they have hoods?
Oh, of course.
Oh, fantastic. He's going to pull the hood up, and while they're dealing with that, he's not a combat guy, so he's just going to try to slip in through the shrubbery further into the grounds.
Okay. You're going to continue on towards the house?
Indeed.
Alrighty. So either, I suppose given Dex, it would be Miss Lane. There's still a howling cultist here, Miss Lane.
Is he laying on the ground or anything?
He is not. This would be firing into a melee, just so you're clear.
So I have the chance of shooting somebody
you
else.
do. You'd be at disadvantage for firing into a melee.
Can I see him?
There's some torchlight, so you have some view of him, although it's diffused for sure.
I would rather use my... Because I did bring my hatchet with, too. Because, never leave home without it. And try to hit him with the thicker side of the hatchet in the back of his head.
Okay, that's a fighting brawl roll.
I'm going to so fail this roll.
You step up and you swing. Whoosh. Trying to end it relatively quickly, or at least maybe knock the guy out. But no, he's still howling. Miss O'Shea, there is a weak and feeble man here who's failed at his attempt to get in your way.
But he won't shut up.
Well, not until you make him.
Right. Yeah, I don't really have anything to, knock him out.
The dagger's almost finished. It's almost ready.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just slash his throat. 39 out of 40.
So there's no need to roll damage. You make the clean and easy gesture of reaching down as he's grasped his wrist, which is bleeding profusely here into the earth of England. You just simply come behind him and with a left hand cup his chin, and with a right deliver a yawning smile to the skin on his neck, and he screams no longer.
And then I turn to move up towards the road.
You let the body fall. You turn back towards the road, and your whole right arm is warm with your good work. Simone, the grounds here are alive with something. You can feel it along the path here, the low grass, just before you reach this deeply wooded glen. What path are you choosing? What direction?
So, there, as far as I can tell, there is a straight line to the house, right? Through the trees, obviously, I'd be going through the grove.
Unless you wanted to circumvent the grove on foot, which you could if you wanted to, but there's no footpath that does that. There's really no...
I'd be weaving through the trees, which is kind of what I'm hoping to do. So I get low and I move between the trees toward the light that I saw in the direction of the house, as quickly and as quietly as possible. I'm trying to be mindful of any other movement or any noise that is happening. I will probably be holding my breath for as long as I can and pausing only when I have to, just so that I can focus on what's going on around me. But if all I hear is gunfire, The more firing I hear, the faster I'm moving.
Okay. Yeah, you hear that first shotgun go off, and then you hear soon thereafter several pistol shots. And that kind of steps up your speed a little bit after that. But really, after those 3 shots, things get a little quiet. And so why don't you make me a hard listen roll?
Oh, fuck me.
Max the meter out on that one, my friend.
Oh, man.
So you're dialed in. You're completely in the zone. You know what's happening out front. You're trusting that Jack is handling things like only he can probably handle them.
Okay, yeah, sure. I continue. I'm following plan A. I'm running toward the house.
You are. The path that you cut through the grove, the earth begins to get sticky. It's almost as if there's something here on the ground. You can hear the tackiness against your shoes.
I will reach to my belt where the drought is, and I will pop the cork on it and just keep my thumb over it as I continue moving.
You hear the laughter first.
Laughter.
It's childlike, at least you think. There's a series of laughs, giggles. To your left, as you're about halfway through the glen, you see the shadow of something move against the tree line.
Does it move like a person?
It moves like a thing.
That's all I needed to know. I will blink for a moment, and I will down this thing.
Okay. The question is, can you keep it down?
Well, I've done it before.
You have.
I would also like to preface this by saying that I did brace my sinuses pretty hard before.
You did. You did. So I'm going to ask for a con roll, but I'm going to give you advantage on it.
Thank
because you prepared like a smart investigator. Even though
I will take that hard success, the 19 out of 65.
you ingest the sun.
I curse so hard.
You can feel its nuclear energy running around inside your esophagus, bouncing against your chest wall. There's almost a rumble inside, as if there's a inner beast waiting to unfurl its wings. And eventually, you feel the rocketing sensation of this draught take hold. And you know, even as your steps continue along the path, you know you have to exhale.
I pick up my pace as much as I can, and I'm going to try to anticipate this thing. And when it comes, and I know it will, I want to look it in its eyes before I vomit in its face.
A multi-appendaged form flops out of the tree canopy. It's really a mass of flesh and tendrils, some sort of strange carapaced front, and you see the multi-headed beast.
It's the same one.
Yeah, the same, almost childlike faces, which are misformed and gibbering, malcontent mouths.
Yeah, through my choking back, my tears, and my running snot, I'm gonna let loose right in front of it.
Okay. Let it rip. You explode outward. You feel the side, so almost you feel the insides of your cheeks redden as this gout of unbelievable force is released from inside your body. There's more pressure inside your chest cavity than you've ever felt in your entire life, even when you've been heaving at swimming or running.
So it's not an exhale as much as a scream, I guess.
Sorta, yeah. Feel the echo of it echo around the canopy here. And this creature begins whipping its appendages in a desperate attempt to remove whatever it is you've spit at it.
And I waste no time. I'm going to assume that at this point it has no idea what's going on, and it's flopped and it's just kind of in the fog, I bid it adieu.
Easy enough.
And I sprint to the house.
At the other end of the estate, the investigators here are going to try to check on Lawrence. So, Doctor, are you attempting to locate your patient?
Well, at this point, the question becomes which patient, to which patient are we referring? I guess I am heading further into the compound and trying to stay hidden, just in hopes that the others catch up with me. And kind of hunker down in a shrub while I do it.
Okay.
So that if someone walks by, I can just look like a corpse.
You get near the main gate, and you find a series of shrubs there that seem to fit the bill for you at the moment. So back at the cult attack site, then, Jack, what are you're gathering your fellow folks here? You don't know where the doctor went. In the darkness, he's seemed to have slipped off.
How's Forsyth doing? Do I even see Forsyth?
When you get over there, he seems to be like in shell shock. You've seen it before.
Yeah.
Lawrence, you come too.
I scream. Little one. Flinch.
It's okay. It's okay. It'll take some time.
I just drop to my knees for a bit. I am... it's like I've run a 4-minute mile. And I am not built to run a 4-minute mile.
Lillian, can you stay with him for a little while? Until he's feeling better? I need to go find the doctor.
I can do that.
Mr. Shea, what are you doing?
I was walking up towards the house, assuming that's where everybody else was going.
Okay. Jack, you head off to find the doctor, and you find Miss O'Shea on the way.
Maeve, do you know where the doctor is?
No, I haven't seen him. I'm assuming we're all going to meet up here, so...
I'm keeping an eye open for them.
Oh, there they are.
I rise up slowly out of the bushes with my hands up.
He catches you off guard for a second, Jack.
No. Doctor. Lawrence is dealing with a little shell shock right now.
I will tend to him. Do not go too much further.
Right.
I don't want to get too far separated.
Yeah.
And then he hurries back as best as he can.
This plan's worked out perfectly so far.
Doctor, you return and see Lillian trying to just kind of keep Mr. Forsyth in one piece.
I am going to... Would this be psychology, or would this be a medicine roll to sedate him?
Well, that would depend. What kind of... I mean, are you going to try to medically sedate him?
Actually, it's patient's choice. I crouch down in front of Lawrence and make sure he's, can pay attention to me, can see me. Lawrence, can you hear me?
I nod.
How are you feeling?
Doc, she's not human.
I suspect I know of what you're talking about, but now is nice as a time nor the place to address the issue, okay? I can give you 2 options. 1, I can give you a bit of sedation to help your mind. Or 2, we can take a moment to rest here, you and I, and we can talk about it for a few minutes until you are feeling better, and we can catch up with them then.
They went on ahead?
Yeah. Lillian, you should catch up with them. Go.
I struggle to my feet. No.
Yeah.
No.
Let me stay and help you guys.
I'm not going to try to stop him, but
There's nothing physically wrong with him anymore. I know that
no.
he likely feels a little tired, but he didn't take any hit point damage, so it's more of the mental trauma of having to deal with the trauma.
Whatever he saw.
Yeah, he knows what he saw.
I know what I
Cope
saw.
with that. Yeah.
Says the guy who never sees anything.
Well, I finally saw something, and you've been waiting for it.
I guess we follow along behind then. Let him lead the way. Not going to get in front of a maniac.
Remember, this is what he thinks he saw while he was in shell shock.
Oh, absolutely.
Mike, did you say somebody else is coming from the house? Another light?
No. There's a gate there, It's a high gate, but you haven't seen anybody else coming from the house at this point.
Yeah, let's go for the gate
Okay,
with the key, because I think we have two of these ornate keys, right?
you do. And using a key, it's simple enough to open the gate
Yes.
and get onto the property itself. So getting onto the property, you see that the house is 200 yards from where you're at. It's up there's a road here that goes straight up towards the house, and you can see that there's a horseshoe type of parking area. I assume you are continuing to move.
Actually, let's split up a little bit so we're not all clumped together. Dr. Forsyth, you take the left side of the road. The three of us will take the right side, and we will try to leapfrog a little bit. You know, as one group covers the other one.
Mm-hmm.
A good idea.
You guys fan out a little bit. You get to closer up towards the house, and you see that there are some lights on. You see that there's a car in the driveway. How close are you getting?
Well, at some point we have to get in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to try to stay out of direct light, you know, so that we're not walking into lighting where we're going to be visible to be shot from the house.
Sure. And Simone, you're continuing your path towards the back of the house?
I mean, yeah, I haven't stopped, so I stopped long enough to burp at that thing. So while they're taking their sweet-ass time, I'm hoping to cover enough ground to get there.
Yep.
Assuming I'm not seeing any people from this side of the house, I am looking for a way to get vertical. So you said this place is, what, 2 or 3 stories?
Yep. It does have some stories on it.
It's like a manor, right? So there's probably all sorts of architecture and decorative stuff.
Yeah, actually, it from your vantage point here of the back of the house, you can see that the manor house does not seem to be in great repair.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like it's a bit overgrown as far as vines go and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's convenient. So let's I treat it like Wrigley Field. I'm going to I guess climb some, hopefully without necessarily stopping my momentum. I will continue moving toward the house, kind of darting my eyes back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I hit the wall, I will allow my boots and hands to do the work. Machete will get held in the teeth.
All right, you begin your ascent. And I think that is a perfect place for us to end this episode at. And so we will pick up next week with the assault on Misr House. So thank you for listening, and thank you to all of our Patreon backers. We've had some new backers, and we'd love for you to be part of the show and a part of the Patreon. So stop by patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast and jump in and maybe get a chance at having a hand in what happens to these fine investigators. And we'll see you next episode.